Alright guys, today we're going to finish up with two videos here on how to wrap up the solar car. So you should have hopefully your wiring done and working. That was the first phase, and then your chassis was the second phase. Somewhere floating around in your stuff, you should have this little plastic guy here, and this is your motor mount. You're going to want to peel the paper off of that. You can peel it off on one side, or you can peel it off of both. And you are also going to need your pinion gear that we set aside before. So let's take that first. Let's take the pinion gear, and it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna just slide it on the shaft of the motor here. Just make sure you don't like slide it on so hard that the motor can't spin. You just wanna leave like a little bit of a gap there. Should be able to move pretty good. Next thing we're gonna do is take the motor, and if you look at it, you'll see that it's kind of designed to fit like on this little motor mount. Pretty good right there. So we're gonna hot glue this. There's just one thing that you have to be careful about. If you look at the back of the motor, you'll see that there's like a gap here, here, and here. If you fill that with hot glue, the motor actually won't spin. So you gotta be careful about how much glue you really goop on the back here. So let's go ahead, and I usually just kind of go around the outside and then maybe like a little dot in the center there. And we're gonna just put this on here like that. All right. Now the next thing is to mount this on here so that it lines up with your drive gear on your wheels. And there's just a little bit to tell you here about gears. I don't know how many of you guys have really worked with gears before, but you know, if my fingers represent the gears, if you just mesh them so that they barely touch, it'll kind of skip. And if you have the gears meshed like so tight, it'll have a hard time actually spinning. So you kind of want to get it like in that happy medium kind of spot there where they're like engaged, but they're not jammed and they're not like just barely touching. So you're just going to run a bead of glue right along the bottom here. And then what I usually do is kind of turn it up on its side, drop it, and then just kind of slide it in so I can kind of see like where it's at. So see, that's not enough. I got to go a little bit more. And that's meshed in there. Pretty good at this point. So that's what I want. That's really the one thing that you have to be careful about. In the next video, we'll talk about what you have to do to mount the solar panel and wrap the rest of this up.